next episode of work on our AMF electric golf cart to gas go-kart conversion. Today we're going to start with some work on the engine. And what we found, we thought the engine was pretty much just fine, it would be easy to get running, but what we found is it doesn't want to turn over all the way without just kind of stopping. So, not sure what that is. I'm going to start by pulling off the heads and the intake and make sure all the ports are clear and there's nothing like a stick sticking into the intake port, which I wouldn't be surprised. Make sure nothing's plugged there. And if that doesn't pan out, I'm going to have to take off. I think this cover will gain me access to the bottom end and see if maybe there's ice inside the bottom end or something. I hope that's all it is, because there was water in the oil and it's cold out here, so it's possible there's ice in the bottom end. But for now, I'm going to start by just taking off easy things and checking what's under them. So let's get to that. While I'm doing some work on the engine, he's going to be making the mount plate to mount it to the actual body of the golf cart. And so right now he's tracing around this piece of cardboard so that he can get a shape mocked up for the metal he's going to cut. So while he works on that, I'm going to start by pulling the intake off and making sure there's nothing sticking in from one of the intake tubes. Probably not, but it's good to check first of all. So I can see there's a pretty good sized buildup of ice in there, right at this cylinder's intake valve. There's also some rust, probably because it sat out over the summer, which is too bad. Let's see, doesn't look like anything inside here. So I'm going to kind of try to break that ice free and see what it needs after that. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do here is pull this head off because I can't get a good view at the block of ice with the head on. So if I pull it off, it should be quite a bit easier to see. Oh, would you look at all that ice? Think that's why it wasn't turning over? Maybe now it'll try to turn over, huh? Can't do it one-handed though. Still wants to stop. How much you want to bet there's ice in the other cylinder? I'm going to put this head back on and we'll go look at the other one. Ooh, look at that. It's a piece of ice stuck to the bottom of where the valve was. Yeah, that would be what was sticking our engine up. Look at that. Oh, that's bad. as you can see, the engine now turns over fully and completely, although it's a little sticky. But no more ice in the cylinder. And we're going to have to flush the bottom end, I'm sure, with a little extra oil to make sure there's no extra water in there.
Valve is sticking.
Valve is sticking, you say? Ah, yes, it is, isn't it? That's a little better. I don't know if we're going to have to adjust the valves or what eventually, but it's opening and it's closing, so yeah, you probably want to shoot it with that. So as it turns out, we're going to need to readjust where we're putting the engine here. So we're going to do some calculations and make some decisions here before we do any engine mount plate mocking up or building. So in case you're wondering why progress has slowed down on the go-kart, we've been working on this project lately. Working on, he rebuilt, I believe he rebuilt the top end, right?
Yep.
New piston, new rings, a lot of new things up there, and then he had to do, he had to replace the points because the points weren't opening because they ground away. Anyway, so he's been doing a lot of work on the Honda here. And pretty soon we're going to be getting back to working faster on the go-kart, so that'll be good news for you guys.